Namaste, guys. ChristianRLong, life enhancement consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out this Wednesday morning here in Denver, Colorado. It's 8 o'clock a.m. Mountain Time. We're jumping on for a daily dose of light, love, and power with today's focus on the light aspect. The light aspect. So, one of the virtues that's connected to the light aspect of the soul that manifests itself through the mental body, emotional body, physical body, but primarily the mental body, is the virtue of accurate perception and correct expression. Grandmaster Cho Koksui says this is one of the hardest of all the virtues to master because it requires, a big portion of it requires self-honesty to oneself, non-lying to oneself and to others. So it means to see something clearly. Because when you have accurate perception, Adriana, but I would say when you have accurate perception, you see something clearly as it is, and then you correctly express that viewpoint. So your viewpoint is correct, or is accurate, and then your thoughts, your words, your feelings, your actions, your livelihood, your spiritual practice, your oneness are all in alignment with one another. Adrian, Mahesh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say, I'm kind of lost in thought here. So, to put it simply, a friend of mine many years ago asked the question, or I asked him the question. We were talking about clairvoyance, the ability to see the inner world, and clairvoyance means to see clearly. To see energy, right? To see auras, to see chakras, to see meridians, to see the angels, to see that which is hidden for the majority of the population. Whether you believe in clairvoyance or not is irrelevant. Trust me, clairvoyance is a real phenomenon that you can train yourself to be able to see. And while we were talking, he says, "Do you know what it takes to be a good clairvoyant?" I said, "No, what does it take?" He says, "Andy, I'm going to say," he says, being honest. Being honest. So as you're honest, you're able to see things clearly because what allows you to see something clearly is your accurate perception. So when you lie to people, what are you doing? You're distorting their perception of reality. So what is the karma of distorting their perception of reality? Your perception of reality will be distorted. And again, this is volumes and volumes and volumes have been written about accurate perception and correct expression. Law, right? The field of law, making laws, policies, that in and of itself is a whole study in accurate perception, correct expression. You have one attorney who has a client with one viewpoint. You have another attorney with a client with the opposing viewpoint. Who's right? And the judge has to practice accurate perception and correct expression of saying, this person is right, this is why they're right, and then here's the penalty, fines, fees, jail time, whatever that person has to suffer in accordance with the right viewpoint. So it's quite detailed. It's really quite amazing. Developing the virtue of accurate perception and correct expression. But it primarily starts with being honest to oneself. As you're honest to yourself, you're able to see a situation clearly, and then you're able to act on that situation in the appropriate way. But if you lie to yourself, if you distort, if you delude yourself from seeing something clearly, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to move your life forward because you're basing it on incomplete information, or kind of like the analogy of the ostrich burying its head in the sand, which, by the way, an ostrich doesn't bury its head in the sand. It just brings its head lower to the ground, but it's not burying its head in the sand, which I thought was kind of weird. So that would be a level of accurate perception, right? Do ostriches really bury their head in the sand, right? But if you live with that inaccuracy, that affects your viewpoint. So, for instance, like in the United States, right? The United States was discovered, right, by Christopher Columbus, supposedly to keep it simple. In 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, right? And the viewpoint of the general world at that time was that if you got in the ocean and you went to a certain point, you'd fall off and die. Alma and namaste, right? That was the viewpoint. So that viewpoint, which was inaccurate, affected their thoughts, their words, their actions, their livelihood, their understanding of spiritual oneness, right? Then, when somebody was courageous enough to discover that, wait a minute, you can get in the ocean and then you just go around the planet, you don't fall off the edge and die. That new, accurate, more accurate viewpoint changed everything. So then the question is, what are things in your life that you're not seeing clearly? A lot, right? We all are. That's why the light aspect within us is so extremely important. It allows us to see things accurately, and then once you see something accurately, you can take the necessary steps moving in the right direction. Like, what if the viewpoint was, okay, if I eat sugar, I'm going to lose a bunch of weight. That's your viewpoint. So you eat a bunch of sugar and you don't lose a bunch of weight, but you're calcified in that viewpoint regardless of the feedback that you get. Andrew, namaste. So you can see how intricate this is. It's really, really fascinating. If you sit down for an hour and just look at how do we view the world from this, how do we view the world and why do we view the world, and how can we view the world more accurately, it'll blow your mind. Denise, namaste. So I hope that, again, these quick streams are just to prick your mind and open up a little portal in your consciousness and think of things that you've never thought of in certain ways before, challenging viewpoints, right? Like, for instance, somebody would say, well, clairvoyance doesn't exist. Okay, well, that's the person's viewpoint. So if the person's viewpoint is that clairvoyance doesn't exist, that's going to affect the way they think, the way they speak, the way they feel, the way they have their livelihoods, right? The way they have their spiritual practice or understand spirituality. But what if your viewpoint was clairvoyance exists? That's your viewpoint. Wouldn't that open up a whole other realm of possibilities and questions to ask and understandings to obtain? It's fascinating, right? And there's many, many, many other things. That's what a good spiritual teacher does, is they say something that opens up a portal in your consciousness. I never thought about it like that. I know for a fact about when I had heard of chakras. Josiah, I'm going to say, I heard of chakras 20 years ago, heard of them, but I had no understanding, and I didn't have any viewpoint around them. Oh, there's these things called chakras. That was it. Like, see this yoga book? See these like colored things on the person's body? Those are chakras. I'm like, okay, awesome. So I had no understanding. I had no viewpoint. But then when someone says, this center is an energy center located at this part of the body and it affects you in these ways, consciousness was opened up. Life was forever transformed. Accurate perception, correct expression. So, and it primarily begins with being honest to oneself, practicing self-honesty and non-lying. All the virtues have a yin side and a yang side. The yin side is non-lying, not deceiving yourself, and the yang side is honesty, of doing your very, very best to see something clearly. So, love you guys very, very much. If I can help you develop your accurate perception and correct expression, or you would like to know how I can help you develop your accurate perception, correct expression, feel free to contact me on my website, ChristianRLong.com. It's my name. And you can sign up for a consultation right then and there, and we can do 30 minutes of coaching. If you sign up for a healing session, 30 minutes of coaching, 30 minutes of healing, 30 minutes of getting awareness and understanding, viewing something accurately, and then 30 minutes of healing around that to move your life forward. And join us for the Twin Hearts meditation in the next 25 minutes at 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time here in Denver, Colorado, for our daily Twin Hearts meditation to bless and heal Mother Earth. And I look forward to connecting with you guys soon. This is Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful day, week, in life. Atma, namaste. Bye-bye.